Cheers. Happy Shaman's tea. Mwah. So much love. Here we are. Welcome to the Shaman's tea. I'm Starr, and I'm so happy that you're here. And I'm so happy that I'm here. And I'm so happy that you're here, Mia. Yeah. So it's been a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks. And so it's nice to be back here having tea with you. I keep thinking that all your crystals in the background are little, like, tea cakes and stuff.
I think I should add that if people are thinking that these are activated grids, they are not. Because if they were activated, I would not have them in the picture.
Yeah, they're just charging up.
They're just charging up. The activated ones are not on screen.
Beautiful, beautiful. So charging up your crystals, doing some crystal gridding. It's a beautiful thing. I'm zipping my lips because I asked Mia, I said, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions about crystal gridding. And, she said, oh, no, I haven't read enough books. This girl has so much intuitive power. It's so amazing. It's at what point do we drop in and just, come into our knowing and share our knowing? Yeah, so you've been doing a lot of crystal gridding for people and part of your work. That's exciting.
Yeah. And it's also, it feels like it's also a discipline because, you can't just have these crystals and, and kind of learn, so which crystal is good for what. You kind of have to practice the practice of keeping the vibration high around them at all times and keeping them clean and keeping them charged, and then kind of tuning into each individual crystal and finding out what work they want to do. And when you work with individual people, that, finding what the best crystals are for them. So it's not ideal to always look straight at crystal grid books because, different crystals don't always vibrate very well with every person.
And that is so unique, each, just like you, each human being has their own little genetic coding and their own, nuances. So do crystals, they're each little spirits, and they are here. Yeah, they're here for a purpose and want to help in certain ways. And yeah, for sure.
I love them. I so love them.
I do too. I'm a rock hound, a crystal, as you know, I'm like the crystal queen as well. And each one has a specific job, and each one has a specific personality. So you could look up in your crystal book and you could say, oh, adventuring, this is for da 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 da. I'm going to put it on my grid to bring in that. But when you talk to the adventuring, you get a whole other story about, oh, I don't want to go on that grid. We're going to go outside and we're going to do X, Y, or Z, so it's really interesting about that. Wow, we just really came into the Shaman's tea with a big crystal bang.
Yes, and I want to say one more thing was a bit of a pet peeve for me, that when people write books about crystals, I feel like what happens sometimes is people, make certain crystal superstars. Like Moldavite, a certain person wrote a book and wrote about Moldavite as the most powerful crystal on the planet. And suddenly you cannot find Moldavite anymore without paying massive amounts of money. And I tell you, I think Moldavite is an amazing crystal, but I think that if you were to say that is the most powerful crystal for Betty, June, and July, it's like you're going to be wrong. You're going to be misled. You need to really tune into your own energy and find out how it vibrates with you personally, as opposed to a person who wrote a book about it and really want to sell a lot of Moldavite.
True
is
that.
preaching. So
You know, and on the moldavite level, let's just talk about that for a second, you know, is that um, it is such a powerful crystal that like if you get it as far as like if it's a pendant or a, you know, a piece of jewelry or something like that. I had a moldavite ring for a really long time. I still have the stone. The ring is broken, but um, when I first got that moldavite, man, that thing called me like from around the corner and down, you know, like whoa, you know, and I put it on and I would be like spinning, whoa, and I'd take it off and I'd ground again. And then I'd put it back on and I, whoa. So it takes a little bit of time for your energy to acclimate to the frequencies. You know, I've had that with a couple of different crystals, but that moldavite for sure. And I've heard a lot of people have that same thing. It takes a minute for us to acclimate to the vibration. And so, yeah, moldavite is a good one. Do you have a favorite crystal?
I can't say that in this room full of crystals.
I know, right? Sorry, guys. I don't. They're all favorites.
But you know what? I'll tell you one thing about a crystal is that the first time I met with stibnite, I was, I had, it couldn't, like, I think I bought it somewhere in Asheville or somewhere in North Carolina, and I couldn't have it in the same house as I was sleeping the first night. It had to stay in the car. And it was so powerful that I could only spend very little bits of amount of time. Let me see if I can find my stibnite. Where could I? Oh, here it is. Feel this baby.
Woo!
um, it.
Wow.
That baby.
You guys feel that? What? Yeah. Wow.
It's yeah. So it's I kind of use it for grounding, and it's
Mm.
protective, and it's not a very popular stone. People definitely don't go out of their way to go and buy this, and actually it's poisonous. You shouldn't even be touching it. But
It's
it's
poisonous.
yeah, it is poisonous. So you know you can't put it in water and drink it, but it is not. You know, I don't handle it a lot anyway, and you know I'm not going to lick my hands now. But it is an incredibly powerful stone for me. And I don't use them in grids actually. Um, it kind of overwhelm a lot of the other stones I find.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
But you know, having it in my house sort of as a grounding, it's a very powerful stone, and it's also very protective.
Well, here we are, guys. We're talking about crystals on the Shaman's Tea, and we did not plan this, but it just is what it is. And so, you know, during these I don't want to label these times as any particular thing, but what I've been feeling is this kind of gritty time, a gritty kind of, you know, where things are up for you. Crystals are a great way to ground yourself. Crystals are a great way to clear out some of that heavy energy, you know. So um, also, you know, when we think about gritting, we're thinking about destiny lines. We're thinking about what it is that we're wanting to manifest in our lives. What are we wanting to create? What is it that we want to lift up in our world? And so it's great to call on our crystal helpers to kind of pull that in and grid a little too. So,
Absolutely. They're amazing helpers.
um, and along that line, the other thing that I want to, you know, maybe some of you already know this, but in case you don't, um, the shungite is a great helper. Shungite is a great helper as far as all of the electromagnetic force field that's coming with 5G and so forth. And just a small little piece of shungite can actually protect your electromagnetic sphere, your sphere around you from 5G and all of that. So that's another good one. Shungite. What other ones can you suggest?
Well, shungite is also great in the water.
Oh yeah, yeah. I put it in my Berkey water filtration system.
Yeah, yeah. And I think they come from China, and the waters that they pull it out of the rivers, and the water that goes down that river is the most pure water. The
In
most
China?
Yes. Yes. So it
I
is.
didn't know shungite was coming from China. I thought shungite was coming from someplace way north. Yeah, interesting.
I could be wrong too. Wouldn't be the first time though.
And it wouldn't be the first time that, a stone came from multiple different places, that Pachamama is
Absolutely. Yeah.
working. So as far as that, going back to the moldavite go, I think that moldavite is so interesting and powerful because it's actually meteor, so it's part star and part earth. And when that meteor landed, it created that beautiful entity called moldavite. And
Yeah. The only thing about moldavite is that it keeps disappearing. It is a trickster stone.
huh.
It will be in my house. It will be like completely, in one place, and the next, then it's gone for a few months. I can't find it anywhere, and boom, there's my moldavite again. It has a way of traveling, and I sometimes feel like it's traveling between dimensions.
Oh, interesting. Going
It
back
doesn't
to its
disappear.
original star place. And
Yeah, I think it's kind of it time travels a little bit, and yeah.
that's cool. So, how have you been feeling? I mean, like, I know that this has been, like I said, it feels like such a gritty time. I know my clients have been like all, and mental health issues way up for people, um, agitations, just overall agitations. Are you guys feeling that? Just agitated and not any particular reason, but just like things just off a little?
Well, for myself,
got some of that.
I
Mm-hmm.
kind of feel like I'm really doing emotionally really well, but physically I don't know, it feels like my body is adjusting to energies and adjusting to environmental changes, and it feels like it's DNA changes and shifts, because it's like this incredible tiredness and body ache, and some headaches, but never a fever.
I've been hearing that too. The body aches, the headaches, the brain fog, the just kind of like, I just want to lay down. Mm-hmm. I definitely have experienced that in my own self. And then what is so interesting that comes up for me is, am I going to actually do what my body's calling to do and rest? Oh, I can push through it. Where's my energy? Or what's wrong with me? Or maybe we're just feeling the shifts and changes. Maybe our physical body's trying to catch up
Yeah,
to the energy body, which is shifting and changing.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to pull a card around that. I'd like to get some clarity around that. Ooh, how about Sacred Rebel? Oh, and the wisdom is calling me. Wisdom of Avalon, too. Maybe the Sacred Rebel has an answer for us around all of that. I think it feels like the wisdom of Avalon, though. Maybe it's both. Ooh, we got a flyer out, just right out of it.
Oh, here's same thing here.
Yeah, you had a flyer? The flyer was letting go. That's too easy. oh yeah, we're feeling this because we're letting go of an old paradigm of like, ages and ages and ages and ages of colonization and mind fuckery and, really polluting the earth and all of that. It seems pretty easy that we could go, oh yeah, let's just let it all go. That card makes me angry.
Yeah.
No, we can't let it all go all the time. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, we are in the midst of some really big changes. And I feel like we have to honor that within our body and feeling the irritation and agitation. And maybe I could let go of the irritation and the agitation around it.
I'm laughing because I put that card that jumped out back and it jumped out a second time.
That's always the way, right? That is always the way. So there's oh, wait. Okay, so here's the next one. This is not good, guys.
Ooh, okay.
Death. Letting go and death. What was the card that jumped out that said that needed to come back around?
Eternal Gatekeeper. Look
Oh,
at that. I mean, she's
look at her.
multiple arms and she's swinging a sword. And it
Dude,
says, acknowledge, assert, and protect what is right for you.
that's what I'm talking about right there. That whole thing feels like that's what I want to see around, instead of, oh, I think of, okay, let it go, let it flow, right? Which is indicative of that. Look at a beautiful little waterfall.
Yeah.
And I think that it's true that we can let certain things go, but I feel like your card is more maybe let go of the irritation and all of that, let go of all the things that we're holding on to that may be stuffing down in our body and making the brain fog and making all of that happen, the headache or whatever. What needs to die away so that the eternal gatekeeper.
So she feels kind of like protective boundaries. That light is sort of, she's dancing sort of in the light, but also sort of like slightly outside of that light. Um, and really, all right, it feels like it's like she's fighting to keep her vibration there. That's what I'm.
What are the small words underneath of it? If she's an eternal gatekeeper of what? Of what gate?
Acknowledge, assert, and protect what is right for you. Let me quickly look at her card and just see what is going on here.
Because when I think of gatekeepers, I think of, like a gatekeeper of a portal or a place that we're navigating to or from, right? And you got to go through the gates in order to.
So she has her eyes closed. She makes decisions according to her spirit self's guidance and not based on external or societal influences and expectations. As a spiritual warrior, she tunes into her heart's rhythm to hear and obey her spirit self's voice. Simultaneously, she allows and denies access to multiple facets of herself and life. She walks forward and into greater clarity while what is behind her further disintegrates. She deliberately co creates her present with authentic intention by choosing to release herself from any reality that no longer serves her and by boldly stepping into what she does. What does? The Eternal Gatekeeper supports you in practicing your right to change your mind at any point. What and who you allow into your life and how far is always up to you. Something that is right for you now may not be in 5 months, years, or decades. This is perfectly okay. It is the natural outcome. So this kind of feels a bit like, we've looked at this year where everything was turned inwards and we claimed our inner wisdom and we've received an upload of energy and it's like we've received enlightenment. But now it's the carrying water part where what is our action to help us show our love for Mother Earth, and reclaiming that for ourselves, and not being in that place of subservience. um yeah, it's almost like this year has brought us what is true, and balance. It's like we've learned about balance, that internal and external balance of our service to ourselves and our service to, the outside world, where we kind of have to work to make money or whatever. It's not all just about that external world. It's now also that internal world. And as the world is starting to go back to normal again, not to revert to the old paradigm, and
Yeah.
standing firm and protecting that boundaries and being true to ourselves and honoring our inner goddess.
I love it. And I do feel like maybe some of the funky funk that is up for people is the space where, the death has come, the letting go has happened on an energetic level, but we need to catch up in the earth, in the 3D world. And which is what, like maybe that gatekeeper is that back and forth between the fifth dimension, the third dimension. How are we bringing all of that all of that higher frequency into this meat suit, into this time, right? So we have this frequency that we are aware of in this new paradigm, in this new way, and going back to normal, as you say, please and thank you, that just will never happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because that was, the pollution and all of the things that were not working, right? So we have to step through that. We have to be the gatekeeper. We have to step through
Mm-hmm.
that gateway and bring back here, So what I'm hearing is like, the old ways that you were might not work for you in this higher frequency right now. The old foods that we're eating, the old ways that we're doing things, we might have to just really shift everything up. I got two cards that came out, and you were talking about, listening for the truth. And I thought that was so interesting because this actually came up as you were speaking it. And you were talking about how we have to really know what is truth. And I love that she's listening into a seashell.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're listening for what is truth, we have to be super present.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
We can't base on where we were a year ago, because where we were a year ago was nuts. We can't even base on where we were yesterday, because why? We're here now.
Yeah.
So when we're listening for the truth, we have to listen for what is true right now, what is truly happening in this moment, and move forward from there. We're creating a new paradigm. We're creating heaven on earth.
Oh.
Some days we might need to rest.
Do you feel like you kind of wake up in the morning and it just feels like you've just had a really, really, really long day behind you, but you just woke up?
Yesterday, I felt like when I woke up that must have had one busy night in the dream time, because I felt exhausted. I felt that I had been put through the ringer in the dream time.
Yeah, I've had quite a few mornings now where 4 o'clock comes and I'm like, no,
No, no, not ready yet.
I've been too busy. And usually when 4 o'clock comes, it's almost like an automaton. I'm like, that's it. I'm getting up. I'm waking up. It's time to meditate.
Let's
But then it's these other mornings, like, no, I've been too busy. I really need to sleep.
Been a busy night, y'all. You have no idea what has been happening in this bed in this time. It's true. Second card that came with this listening for truth was the power of intention. Oh no, the power of attraction.
All right. So as we raise our vibration, we attract that what the same vibration. So which is
That's what
very
we're hoping for. That's what we're hoping for. Keep raising your vibration. Because if you don't keep raising your vibration, I mean, we know the power of attraction, right? We know. I mean, this is like 101, right?
well. Why don't you just talk about it in case
The
people
laws
don't?
of attraction. The laws of attraction are, whatever you're putting out there is what you're going to get back. And so it's all about the frequency. So if I'm in fear mode, guess what's going to show up for me? All the things that I can be more fear about and fear about. If I'm in the love mode, guess what I'm going to put out there, right? I'm going to put out loving vibrations, and that's what's going to meet me. Oh, loving vibrations. So, as we are shifting, our own physical, emotional, spiritual self is constantly shifting, and more change is inevitable. So you might as well go along with it, right? So I notice that when I start resisting change is when my grumpy pants come on, my crabby pants, right? That resistance is kind of one of those things, right? So resisting change is,
Futile.
futile, but also is that it puts you in a place of attachments, that you have an attachment to the way that things should be, and you're not allowing for the universe to unfold the way that it wants to bring
You're
you.
not in flow anymore.
So as we are raising our vibrations, and okay, so let's just go back through this, right? So we've been letting go. And I don't think that this, by the way, I don't feel like this is physical death. But if we resist this, this could be physical death. But I really feel like this is the death of all the things that we've let go of, right? The energetics, the old paradigm, the old way of being, the old patriarchy, the way of, disrespect, the way of, we've really been through the ringer, right? Okay, just on the physical death, let's just take a minute right now. Take a deep breath in. And we want to honor all of those who have actually passed, have actually been gunned down. Honoring our folks in Colorado, honoring the women in Georgia. That just did come in. But as far as this goes, I feel like this is more about an energy, the energetic death. So once we have gone through that and we are able to let go and say, okay, this doesn't serve me. Well, what is serving, right? Well, we got to listen to what the truth is, right? We have to be that gatekeeper of what's now coming in. We have to be that gatekeeper in your card, Mia, to know, oh, we're going to go into the fifth dimension and beyond and bring these frequencies in. Got to listen to what's true. We got to listen to what we really, really need. What does your body need? Does it need the rest? Take the rest. Does it need the water? Drink the water. Does it need a magic crystal grid over there? What are you attracting? What are you attracting? What is your frequency right now?
All right. Well, then you are going to be in for a treat when you see this next card that's
Oh,
coming.
I'm excited. Yay. Bing, bing.
Radical
Radical self-acceptance.
acceptance. And that's the thing. I mean, this is where the self-love comes in. Like if you cannot love yourself, how on earth can you be that beacon of love for the rest of this planet? How can you? Gosh, it's like, okay, so here's my selenite crystal.
I have one just like it. Yay.
And so, it's like we become these beacons, we conduct that light. I have this beautiful light here, but it's like it's not showing.
No, it is showing. It's glowing.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Turn this light off. Hold 1 second, because I want to show this.
It's such an amplifier. So beautiful.
So it's just like it's like when we become clear and we allow all the self-doubt to leave our field, to release all those blockages, and we can just channel divine love to everyone around us. We become these beacons. And that's why it's so vital that we have this radical self-love that we then, it's actually this blue light on my microphone that I'm trying to show, but it's not coming through.
It's really cool.
So yeah, I love selenite so much, and I put it on top of my crystals to charge them too. But yeah, so we can become those chargers that we don't even have to really have conversations, I think, with people. It's about that smile, just allowing our love to be there for everybody around us. And that's why this card is so important, that self-love, that acceptance, that allowing ourselves to feel everything so that we can let it go. So it's not about holding all our energy is being used to suppress all those emotions instead of being free to channel love, light.
So, what are some of the things that you guys know that you can do that is self-acceptance? That you can get to that space of self-love, self-acceptance. I think some of the things it's really important is to write up a little self-care note, in your journal. Like even just bullet out some things that are really great self-care things that are your go-tos, so that when you're starting to feel that defeated, or nobody loves me, or I don't, just kind of lost, and go, what are some of your go-tos that you can write them down, and oh, let me go back there and take a look and see what it is that is always a good go-to. I know for me, some of those things is dropping into meditation, dropping into my meditations in the morning, and starting my day out with, mantras and all the things that I'm grateful for, and all of that just really puts me in that space of becoming, of being that beam of love. The goal is that we don't have to look outside of ourselves for love, because we are love. We are that beam. And when we become that beam of love, then we become that selenite beacon, like you were saying. But we have to start here.
Yeah.
We have to start at home, self-love. Maybe that self-love looks like something as simple as taking a walk.
And
Maybe that self-love looks a little bit like making healthier choices around your food.
because that's the vessel, you know, our bodies are that vessel of that light. And when that vessel is not healthy, it's really, really hard for us to, you know, when we don't feel good in our bodies, it's really hard for us to feel just about anything, let alone smiling at people and being friendly to people when we are just feeling, you know, the garbage in our bodies. And
Yeah.
so, especially since our water and our food and our planet is so polluted at this time, it is so vital that we work on eating clean food, drinking pure water. And there's something else. I'm about to get on the horn again. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh, here she goes. I love it. What's she getting now? In the meantime, I have hibiscus and rose hips in my tea today.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's too bright. How did I do that?
Right? It looked really beautiful. What are you doing?
It's not so bright. Blinding. So crystals in your water and having the vibration of the crystals go into your water that you put into your body. Once again, before you put any crystals in your water, make sure that it is water safe. So amethyst and rose quartz are completely safe. However, I always soak it for 3 days in water when I get new crystals that I'm going to put in water directly to make sure that it's clean. And then I put those vibrations in my body. The other thing I love to do is before I drink my water is putting my prayers and gratitude into the water and talking to that water, and setting the intention that anything that does not belong, that it be cleansed and cleared.
Yes. Beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Crystal water is great. Intentional water is great. Oh my goodness. So many things that we can do for self-love and self-acceptance. And, you know, in the Mindful Monday meditation, we talked about, you know, changing the things that we can change and letting go of the things that we can't, you know, accepting the things that we cannot change. And self-acceptance is like, you know, are you doing your best? Are you doing your best? And if you're not, why not? Can you do something different? Holding yourself accountable is part of that radical self-acceptance. Holding yourself accountable to do what you need to do. Yes, to raise your frequency, to get in your heart space and take that elevator up into the fifth dimension. You know, when we talk about the fifth dimension, and we've said it a couple times before, but I just really do want to reiterate this, is that we're not talking about going out to some really cool place. You know, we're talking about a consciousness that is of love, of gratitude. It's the consciousness of generosity, the consciousness of compassion. These are the consciousness energies that we are bringing in and anchoring into the heart. And it's through the heart. The heart is the elevator, right, to go up, or the gateway to go up to the fifth dimension. It is the fourth dimension, right, that we get there. Time traveling. Time traveling. We're time travelers. And we do it through the heart. And can you be kind to yourself? Can you be generous to yourself? Can you time travel through your heart and go and find all of that compassion for yourself? Can you do that? Yes, you can. You can do it. Every moment there is a choice.
Exactly.
Every moment There is a choice, and every
We're
moment you
building
can
on it.
choose. Yep. And every moment you can choose. You can say, oh no, I'm going to stay in my stinking thinking, my fear mode, because this feels really good.
I'm thinking.
Right? Stinking thinking. Wow. This is beautiful. I love coming in and sharing ideas and thoughts and beautiful spiritual speak with you. It's really nice.
Likewise. It's I think what comes to mind here is that as you go up that elevator, the hard part is that you will lose friends. People fall away. However, when you get out the door, there's new friends waiting for you.
Yeah, this is the attraction, right? I mean, if you've raised your vibration, you're not going to attract people so much that are still. And this is not a judgment, you guys. I want you to understand this, because I feel like there could be a us versus them. Oh, I'm so that because I'm in this higher vibration. It's not a hierarchy thing, and we're all going to get there
Mm-hmm.
wherever there is, right? We will, and some days we're better at being generous and other days we're not. And so, it's just this vacillating thing. But if you are living in this vibration that is, if you are being that beacon of love, and you've got somebody that is just so, stuck in the mud in a different vibration, then whoo, isn't everything beautiful? And I'm coming from a place of love, and how can I understand this? And let me look at it from a different perspective and all of that, instead of the grumpy, like, it's gotta be my way, or what, that's gonna be challenging. It's not to say that we don't turn and offer up mentor, plant seeds, that we don't give hugs. It's to say that your tribe is going to shift, and you're going to find people that you will have these kinds of conversations with, because now you're in this frequency. I was at a gathering for the equinox, and I'm going to be real honest, like, it's the first time with COVID that I've been in a big gathering. It was more than 50 people. But the frequency of every being there was so magical and so amazing and so, like, wow. And, it was so beautiful to be in that vibration. It was so beautiful to share the equinox, and we were planting seeds, and, it was just really lovely, lovely, lovely. My friends Sierra Marin and Dakota Drake were the ones at the Harmony House that were doing this. And it was off the charts. And it's so, have patience. If you're feeling as if you're losing your friends, it's, or people are starting to drop away, it's not that you are better than them or that they are lower or whatever. It's that, they just they haven't found this fifth dimension consciousness quite yet. And we hold them in that resonance. Yes, yes,
It's a
they too can
journey.
rise,
It's totally a journey. And if I'm traveling from here to San Diego, it's and suddenly I'm not in North Carolina anymore. I'm suddenly in Kentucky. Does that make me better than somebody in North Carolina? No,
Exactly.
we're
Perfect analogy.
on a journey, and it's going to be hard for me to be friends with people in North Carolina when I'm in Kentucky.
Feel you. Exactly. That is such a perfect analogy. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to pick up the phone and say, hey, what's going on? you know, no. And it's not a judgment thing. And I think sometimes we get into this whole thing, and I think I brought it up on our last Shaman's Tea of, you know, um, people like pointing a finger about, you know, like, wake up, it's time to wake up, you better wake up, don't you see what's happening, and all of this, you know, it's like, don't hit me
But
with
that
that
feels like
energy.
it's coming from a place of ego and fear, and that's not where we're going. It's not a place of ego and fear. We're
And
stepping into
it's the very thing that you want to wake up from.
exactly. We're stepping into compassion. We're stepping into
if
gratitude. You know.
it's kind of like, what, you know, is that a us versus them? It's not. We're all on a journey, we're all awakening, we're all have one eye open, and some days we're fast asleep while other days we're like, bang bang, all right, we're on it, let's go do it, you know. And we're patient with ourselves, and I think that goes back to the same thing of the self-acceptance, right? And we're patient with ourselves, we're patient with the people around us, and yeah, attracting what you want and attracting your tribe, and yeah, and you know, I've had that, and it's not that I love the people that I don't hang out with all the time anymore, um, in that I would not offer them big love-ins.
Mhm.
It's like, you know, my journey has taken me on one heck of a ride, y'all. My journey has taken me to the tops of sacred mountains and deep into the Amazon. And I know that not everybody can relate to that, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody is going to understand that I go and live with the shamans in the Amazon jungle for months on end. That's okay that you don't get that. That is perfectly fine.
Yep.
It's just we're on different frequencies. But I love you. It's all good. Yeah. You know, you see what I mean?
Yeah. If it's
Mhm.
if you don't feel more love, more compassion at the end of that, you're on the wrong path. There, I used the word wrong. Sorry.
Or it needs to be evaluated or reevaluated. And if
Exactly.
you don't feel love and compassion from the people that if you're spending more time trying to explain to people where you are and what you're about, and you're feeling yourself frustrated, this is time, you know, love, and gonna find people that, you know, and it's great to have the diversity, you know,
Yeah.
but I love that thought process. If you're not feeling the love, probably not your space.
Just move on.
Move
Go
along.
find your tribe. Go find your tribe.
That's right. Here we are. We love you. Beams of love. Beams of love. Hey, so here's a thought. It's a rewind. Rewind, rewind. We can go back, you know, when we are in that, okay, we're going back to time travel and through the heart, time travel. We can actually go back and rewind, go back, all the way back to the time that you got vaccinated as a child. Rewind. We can go back there to the point where the needle is in the bum. Boop. You feeling it? You there?
It's in my arm.
In your arm. Yeah, I don't know where mine is. Yeah, I got one of those too. Okay, so in your arm, in your bum, whatever it is, go back to that time. Deep breath in. Love shots. Love shots, baby. We're putting in that beam of love. Wind it back in, wind it back in, all the way into now. You can transmute anything, guys.
Exactly.
You can transmute any kinds of energy. And I wasn't going to bring this up, but I get asked it every single day. And we had a message in from, oh gosh, I don't even remember who it was. Anyway, asking,
Yeah.
are you gonna get the shot? Should I get the shot? What's your feeling about the shot? Again, it's not a judgment, guys. You have to drop in, you have to listen to that truth. Going back to that original card, you have to listen to what is right for you. What is right for you? You know it already. And if you feel, and this is something that I say to, anybody that asks, including, and I will say this, my oldest son got the shots. And so, protect up yourself. You know how to do that, right? White light yourself, put yourself in the violet flame of, the Merkaba, the violet flame of, protection. If you're a guy, white light and put the violet flame of protection around your testicles. Just do it. I mean, it's not like it's going to hurt if you do it.
And for women, around their breasts and their.
For women, white light and protect your ovaries,